But Canal and I were just talking. And we were trying to figure out, like, how possible is it, right, baby? How possible is it for the Rangers to get through this offseason without having to dump any salary? It's actually quite possible, right? Isn't that what we were just talking about? She knows all about it. So, a lot of what people are talking about this Rangers offseason is, do we need to trade a player with cap? This is it's pretty much Barclay Goodrow. So I'll just say Barclay Goodrow in order to have a roster next season, in order to afford a roster next season? And the answer is no. We don't, and I proved it right here. Assuming the cap jumps up to $83.5 million, which is what is projected to do at the minimum, the Rangers can actually field the team, 23-man roster, and have $107,000 of cap space. Now that is pretty much no cap space, but we're asking if it's possible. Not is it reasonable, but is it possible? And yes, it is very possible. Quite literally, all you have to do is sign Alexi Lafreniere to the exact same contract Capo Caco got. 2 times 2.1. Sign Keandre Miller to the same exact contract Ryan Lindgren got. 3 times 3. VC and Harper are your 3 extra skaters. You can sign Patrick Kane 1 times 1, LTIR him. Louis Domingue as your backup goalie, or a goalie that's $100,000 more expensive than him if you want. You could sign a player like Craig Smith to a 1 times 1 or a 1 times 2. 2 years, $1 million. And Josh Archibald, or Josh Archibald, similar. If you guys don't know who those players are, I wrote about them and talked about them ad nauseum with Core Python in a live stream. Craig Smith, those being his numbers there, and Josh Archibald, those being his numbers there. If you want to pause the video and take a look at it, please feel free to do so. I've talked about it so much, I'm actually getting sick in the head and tired of talking about it. But if you guys want to read about the 2 players, this is them right there. They're both very good, viable options. They do not cost a whole lot to acquire, and they're just Craig Smith is not exactly Jesper Foss, but a guy you can put up and down a lineup and play Jesper Foss type role. I'm not sure what we're doing over here. And Josh Archibald, pretty much just a 4th liner, but hits everything that moves, blocks a ton of shots, hardly ever gives away the puck, doesn't take a whole lot of penalties, and has a very positive net penalties per 60 at .78, which I think would be the 3rd or 4th highest on the Rangers. Looking at this roster, obviously this isn't like a roster that completely blows you out of the water. You got Brendan Othman there on the 3rd line. You could swap out Othman and Will Cooley if you want to. You open up an extra $50,000 or $40,000 in cap space if you want to. I don't really see it being necessary. To tell you the truth, I think this spot comes down to Cooley versus Othman. I'm not really sure who gets it. This is just me guessing that Othman's going to get it. Tyler Mott, I gave 3 years, $1.4 million per year. Pretty much the Dominic Moore contract that he got after his season with the New York Rangers, when we I think it was 1 year, $900K, and then we followed that with a 3 times 1.45 maybe, but a similar contract to that. Obviously, Barclay Goodrow still is your 4th line center. It's not ideal. You'd rather see him on the wing, and you can maybe put Mott back at center if you want to, for the sole purpose of Goodrow being a better faceoff taker. Not a good one, but a better faceoff taker than Tyler Mott. You could do something like that, or you could look to sign a free agent center, which there are plenty of. You have Nola Chari, Luke Glendening, as seen here, Derek Brassard. I think Pitlick can play center. There are options if you want to put someone else at center, but this is just a roster I made up and came up with. This doesn't have to be Craig Smith. It doesn't have to be Josh Archibald. Hell, it doesn't even need to be Tyler Mott. I'm just saying if this is the route you go, this is what you can do. Zach Jones being your 6th defenseman, taking Nico Mikkola's spot, assuming that he does not come back. He's going to get paid by somebody else, just what happens. If you don't want Zachary Jones there, you can put Matthew Robertson in his spot. You've got tons of options. Ty Emberson is a dark horse. I doubt he even gets a look, but Ty Emberson's also an option. If you look at the Rangers, RFAs, oopsie, I need to reset this real quick. I don't even bother with Scanlon. Libor Hayek, you could bring him back. I doubt the Rangers do, to tell you the truth. I don't even know if they qualify him. And Ty Emberson. So you have options. All right, there's a lot you could do, but the fact of the matter is that the New York Rangers do not necessarily need to trade away and pay a team to take the contract of Barclay Goodrow or another player that's making money, or Ryan Lindgren, Miller, Laffy, Kako. You don't need to. Should you, in order to build the best roster you can through free agency? Yes. But you don't need to. Me personally, I am very, 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 very much against trading a player, attaching an asset to them in order to open up cap space. I think it's stupid. I think it could have been avoided by not even signing Barclay Goodrow in the first place, but this is the world we live in. This is the hand we were dealt. You have to play with it. You don't need to. I think you field this roster. You give Brendan Othman a shot. You give a Craig Smith equivalent a shot. You give a Josh Archibald equivalent a shot. You give Zachary Jones a shot. You have Lecision, you have VC, you have Harper. Hell, if you wanted to carry 22 forwards, you can. You send down Jake Lecision, and you accrue even more cap space towards the trade deadline. You go into the season with less than $1 million, but it is what it is. By the time the trade deadline's here, Patrick Kane, his hip surgery will be fully recovered. You can insert him. If Craig Smith's not working out, you send him to the fourth line, or you dump him. Same thing with Josh Archibald. You just scratch him or you waive him. $900,000 is really not a steep hill to climb. And you still have Patrick Kane, a fully healthy Patrick Kane at that. Are we doing all right there, Bubba? Not sure why you're standing up. You're gonna fall off the chair. Okay. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had today. I just wanted to cover this because people are talking so much about, oh, we've got to trade Goodrow. We've got to. We don't have to. If you want to build the best. Hey, can I? Here, ready, Bubba? I got you. Hold on, ready? Oofa. All right. There's a good girl. Watch, she's gonna come right back over. What? Go ahead. No, you can have your chair back if you want to. Anyways, if you want to build the best roster through free agency, meaning signing bigger ticket players, yes, you obviously have to trade Barclay Goodrow. If you want to make a trade to acquire a player that has some sort of salary attached to him, you have to trade Barclay Goodrow. But you don't necessarily need to in order to survive the offseason and still have a pretty viable team, a decent team in the regular season. Craig Smith, Archibald, I favor because they both play very, very hard. They hit a lot. They don't have a whole lot of giveaways. They have a good amount of takeaways. They block shots, this, that, and the other thing. But that's a topic for another time. But that's really all I had for you guys today. It's just, it is possible. So don't build your entire offseason prep for it. This goes to all of us. We don't all have to just pigeonhole ourselves into thinking, yeah, the only way we can get through this offseason is bribing someone to take money off our books. Because we don't have to do that. So, hope I gave you guys some food for thought. You guys comment below your thoughts. Should we trade Barclay Goodrow for cap space? Would you be willing to attach a second-round pick to him? Because it sounds like this was going to take a second-round pick. We only have one more of those. We only have one of those in the next 3 drafts. That's counting this draft. So, I'm personally against it. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Is it possible? Is it viable? Should we? Shouldn't we? Why or why not? I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Later today, I think at 6 o'clock, Core Python and I will be going live. We'll be doing a New York Rangers draft primer. We'll be looking at players that could potentially be available at the 23rd overall pick. We'll be looking at scenarios where the Rangers could trade up. Mostly it's going to be talking and looking at prospects. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to give anything away. If you guys have watched our previous live stream, you'll probably know a couple of the prospects we're already going to go over. But be ready for that later on. We'll be streaming on his channel and my channel, so just be ready for it. We'll talk. We'll chat then. Either way, I think we're 10 days in a row now. Double digits. Thank you guys for watching. If you don't want to consider making it, and if you do not need hearing aids. Whew. I didn't even understand what I just said, so maybe I need hearing aids. I will see you all later tonight. Thanks for watching again. Peace out.